Hello students, welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we have two news stories from India that blend geography, tradition, culture and education in the most beautiful ways. So in today's episode, we'll first take you on a journey through the mighty Himalayas to a sacred lake called Mansarovar and a holy mountain known as Kailash. Now, why is this place so important? Why was the pilgrimage to this spot stopped? And now finally it has restarted. Then we'll shift our focus from mountains to classrooms. We'll look at something new and musical happening in your new textbooks. Ever wondered why your new book is called Mridang or Santur? So we'll tell you the beautiful reason behind these names. Okay? So buckle up, let's get started. Imagine, students, a shimmering blue lake and it is surrounded by snow covered peaks. The air is cold but peaceful. In the distance, a mountain stands tall, so tall, in fact, that many believe it is where Lord Shiva himself resides. Welcome to Lake Mansarovar and Mount Kailash, two of the most holiest places for Indians, for many Indians. Okay. But did you know that these places haven't been able, that people haven't been, especially who are from Hinduism, who follow Hinduism, they were not able to visit these places since 2020. Yes, that's right. The sacred Kailash Mansarovar Yatra was stopped for nearly 4 years. Okay, but now the Indian government has announced that it's back. So let's understand why this pilgrimage matters so much. When I say, what is the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra? See, students, Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, it's a spiritual journey that thousands of people take every year. So it's not a holiday or a tourist trip. It's a pilgrimage, meaning a journey to a sacred place. Okay. And Mount Kailash is believed by Hindus to be the abode of Lord Shiva. For Buddhists, Jains, and followers of Tibet's born religion, it is equally important. So, pilgrims don't just climb it, they walk around it in a holy ritual called parikrama. Okay. Next to the mountain is we have Lake Mansarovar, a freshwater lake which is so pure that it is said to wash away your sins. Sounds magical, doesn't it? Now, why was the yatra stopped? Yatra को क्यों बंद कर दिया गया था? See, in 2020, what happened? Pandemic hit, and like many other things, the yatra had to be cancelled for health and safety reasons. Okay, but even after the pandemic settled down, the pilgrimage didn't start. Why? Because of some tensions between India and China. As the route passes through Chinese territory in Tibet, okay? तो जो route है actual में वो Chinese territory से pass होता है. Now in 2024 and 2025, things are improving and both countries are trying to, work together again. And that's why the Ministry of External Affairs announced that the yatra will resume this year. Okay. So, what is the route like? See, pilgrims take one of the two routes, the Lipulek Pass route, which is in Uttarakhand, and it starts from Delhi. Delhi se start hota hai, and then pilgrims reach to Almora, Pithoragarh, Tawa Ghat, and then Lipulek Pass. Okay, तो एक तो लिपुलेक पास रूट है, देन अनदर इज नाथुला रोड. Okay, Nathula route, and it also starts from Delhi, then Gangtok. Where is Gangtok? Gangtok is capital of Sikkim, and then Nathula. Then pilgrims take vehicles near the lake, and it is much easier with only 35 to 40 kilometers of walking. Okay, and this route opened in 2015. So once you reach Lake Mansarovar, you perform the parikrama around Mount Kailash, which is a spiritual experience believed to purify your soul. Okay. And who can go? See, Yatra is open to Indian passport holders. Of course, you'll be needing passport because the place is in Tibet, right? So, Yatra is open to Indian passport holders aged between 18 to 70 who are medically fit and physically fit. Okay. तो कैसे काम होता? सबसे पहले MEA, Ministry of External Affairs, it opens registrations around April or May. And since only a limited number of people can go, a draw of lots is held to select participant. तो जैसे लॉटरी ड्रॉ होता है तो वैसे ही उसमें से नेम ड्रॉ किया जाता है. Okay? The journey usually takes 23 to 25 lakhs and it can cost more than 2 lakh in total. Okay, and there's also a private route through Nepal, but it's much costlier and more complex with visa requirements and permits. Right now, why is this news important? See, this is not just about a trek, it's about geography. Okay, it's also about geography. Kaise? Kyunki you learn about Himalayas, high passes, and the Tibet region. Secondly, it's also about culture because it connects you with Indian traditions, festivals, and spiritual heritage. Thirdly, this yatra, it also reminds us how peace and cooperation between nations help people practice their faith and traditions. Okay? तो जैसे चाइना और इंडिया के बीच में अगर पीस होगा तो it helps us, it serves us a reminder that peace and cooperation between nations, it helps ultimately people only. All right. Now, students, let's turn the page, like quite literally, and talk about something you might have noticed in your school textbooks. Right. So, have you ever wondered why your English or maths book is called Mridang or Santur or Ganit Prakash? This year what happened, as the new session has started, so you might have bought books, है ना? So you might have seen that this year NCERT, National Council of Educational Research and Training, introduced new school textbooks which aligned with new education policy 2020. Okay, new education policy 2020. And along with new chapters and design came new names, beautiful new musical names. Okay, so why these names? See, NCERT says that the names were thoughtfully chosen to reflect India's cultural roots, okay, and to make learning more joyful and familiar. It also shows the diversity and unity of India's traditions. For example, जैसे मृदंग हो गया, अब मृदंग is named after Mridangam, a percussion instrument from South India. Okay, so Mridang, English ki book hai, classes for classes 1 and 2. And then we also have Santur, right? We also have Santur. So Santur kya hai? Again, English textbook hai, class 3 ki. And what is a Santur? It's a stringed instrument believed to have a Persian roots, right? And for maths, for class 3 maths, the name is Maths Mela, a mixture of Hindi and English, suggesting a fun fair of mathematics. Similarly, Veena, a classical Indian instrument. Sitar is what? Sitar, another traditional musical instrument. And then Ganit Prakash is there, meaning light of mathematics. Okay. Then for class 6, it's Kriti 1. Kriti means creation or work in Sanskrit. We also have Purvi. Purvi is what? The name of a musical raga which is sung at dusk. Okay. So is this new? Is this sort of naming, is this new process? Actually, no. Even in the past, some NCERT books had titles like Honeydew. है ना, पहले भी था नाम. For class 8 English, the name was Honeydew. For class 9, Beehive. Class 10 English was First Flight. So naming books creatively is not new. But this time, the focus is more on Indian traditions and languages. Okay. So, why is this important for students? See, names like Mridang or Santoor do more than just sound cool. They actually spark curiosity. They build pride in India's heritage and they make subjects feel more connected to real life. Okay, so let's say you are reading Ganit Prakash. Now you might wonder, what's Ganit? So that curiosity could lead you to discover that India was home to great mathematicians like Aryabhat and Bhaskar. Okay, and or while reading Santur, you may look up how this instrument is played and end up learning about Kashmiri music, right? So through these things, you can explore many much more stuff. All right. So today, that's all for today, students. We took you on two journeys. सबसे पहले तो हमने snowy mountains of Himalayas we covered, right? And then another through the pages of school books, right? So whether you are trekking to a distant land or if you are opening your school bag in the morning, both can be powerful ways of learning, connecting, and growing. Okay, so that's all for today's episode, students. If you like these stories, don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, classmates, and teachers. And remember, the world is full of stories, some written in books and some written in mountains. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking questions. Goodbye and Jai Hind.